I don't know what it is about gatekeeping, but I really like to do it. And I'm sure some of you watching right now probably agree that there's some things that you just want to keep others away from. Whether it be that you feel that you are a more diehard fan of something, or maybe you're protecting the IP from fans that you know would ruin it. People who just get too crazy or take it to the next level. Whatever reasons you have them, and I have my own reasons. But sometimes I think about it and I'm like, I've even got to the point where I've gatekept myself from certain things that are pretty cool. And so today, I want to talk about those things with you guys and figure out, hey, maybe you should stop gatekeeping so much and you should allow yourself to like things. Alright guys, before I get into my list of things, I want to talk about the fact that we reached 500 subscribers. That's insane. It took us so long, it feels like, to get there, but like we did it. And I know it's not like the biggest accomplishment ever, but getting to that level, me and Chris talking about it, shout out to Chris, you know him, the other guy on this channel, we were like, man, we did it. It took us so long, but we finally did it. And we are happy and we thank you guys for supporting, but we want to keep growing. So if you haven't already, subscribe, because we really appreciate it. We want to keep this channel growing, and it's a slow grind, but we feel it in our bones that we're getting to where we want to be. So thank you guys for being here, and if you follow us on any other socials, which you can do down below as well, thank you, appreciate that. So let's talk about it now. Okay, so I've compiled a little list of anime and some video games thrown in of things that I went back to later on in life, and I was like, hey, you know what, this is pretty good. And everybody else who's already played or watched these things are like, yeah, we know, we've been saying that forever. Why did you not jump on the bandwagon sooner? And I don't have a better answer for you than the fact that I'm a closeted hipster. What can I say? I don't conform to your guys' rules or the things you set, the hypes that you deem worthy of hype. I don't subscribe to those things, except for when I do. So let's start this list off with the one that I'm recently ungate-kept myself from. I've opened the pearly white gates and I've come to realize, hey, this is a pretty good show, and that's going to be Solo Leveling. And I know a lot of you guys who watch it are probably like, what you don't watch it? It's like the hypest thing on TV right now. And I agree. But for some reason, I just didn't want to partake. And I distinctly remember running into one of my old friends from high school a couple years ago, and he was working or whatever, and I was like, hey man, what you been watching? What you been reading? And he told me two things. He was like, number one, Chainsaw Man, it's gonna be amazing. This is before it came out. It's one of the best manga ever. And he said Solo Leveling. Those were his two favorites. But he says Solo Leveling for him solos all the other manga he's been reading. And I was like, or manhwa, sorry, that he's been reading. And I was like, oh, I'll take your word for it. I'm probably not going to read it. Back then, I didn't really read manga like that. So I was like, yeah, I'll wait for it to come out when it comes out. And then a few years later, the first season dropped last year. And I watched the first 2 episodes. And I was like, this is cool. But I think I'm okay right now. I don't really want to invest too much time into it. And so I put it on the back burner for now. But ever since then, all I've been hearing about every week is like, oh man, this episode was a 10, a 9.5. These episodes are amazing. This season's like blowing my mind. And I was like, guys, it can't be that good. Come on now, we have other stuff going on right now. Fucking Sakamoto Days is going on. I know guys, I know it's not the best adaptation for some of you. But anyway, I was like, yeah, there's other stuff that I want to watch. I don't want to watch Solo Leveling right now. I'm good on that. And I had a couple down days and I was like, let me watch this. And I watched it. And yeah, I admit it, it's really good. The action in it, top notch. I've been watching the dub, so the voice actor, Alex Lee, shout out to him. He's amazing at it. And I know, I usually watch sub, but I wanted to catch up as fast as possible. So running a dub is way quicker than subs for me, because sometimes I don't really pay attention to subs. And so yeah, voice acting is really good. The animation, the fight scenes, it's all really good. The pacing for me is great, because I feel like there are some things where they could drag it on like 2-3 episodes, but they don't. He just goes and kills the boss, and then you're like, oh, okay, cool. He's going to the next boss. That's kind of crazy. And for me, I guess the premise didn't seem too exciting. It felt like kind of like an isekai, and I'm not super into those. I'm just like, whatever, another video game, whatever. You get sucked into it. You're the strongest ever, blah, blah, blah. This does a little bit of that, but it does it in a cooler way for some reason to me, where I'm like, oh, okay, I can get down with this. I like this. And yeah, it's been fun, and it's one of my favorites currently now. My mind has been changed. My mind has been opened. It's very good, guys. Go check out Solo Leveling if you haven't already. And if you were like me and you were like, you know what, I don't want to believe in the hype, just go watch it. You'll like it. Okay, and then another one going into like a different direction. I opened the gates for myself to believe in the hype, to watch it, to be let down. And I was like, oh, this is why I didn't watch this. I was protecting myself. I kept it behind the gate for a reason. Don't go behind there. But I ignored it because it was COVID and I wanted something to watch. So I was like, you know what, let me finally watch Hunter x Hunter. That's right. I know it's a lot of people's favorites or whatever, but I was like, let me just see what it's all about. I can't just be a blind hater, even though it's my favorite thing to do. I was like, you know, this is the best time to do it. Nothing else is going on. Just lock in and watch these episodes. And I did. And I hated it. Not all of it. There was some of it where I kind of liked. There's some characters that I've mentioned before on the show. I love Killua. Killua's great. Anybody who watches Hunter x Hunter loves Killua. Even if you don't like the show, like me, Killua's great. Icalgo, the squid guy, he's great. Leorio, sick. Everybody else, they can die. I don't really care. It's just, you know, it feels like a mixed bag of a show. The first arc, the little Hunter arc, I dug that. The second arc, which is New York, right? Or York New, whatever, that was okay. The villains, the Phantom Troop, they're cool, but they're more aura merchants more than anything, to be honest. Like, especially fucking Crollo. He's just in the back, just fucking, oh yeah, I'm sick or whatever. And yeah, anyway. Then the video game arc, hated that. Chimera Ant arc, everyone's favorite, I hated it. It dragged on so long. I know, story, build up, all that stuff, just, I got bored, okay? And so, oh, and then the one after that, it's like a half arc, it's not even a full thing, so what are we doing here? And then I tried reading the manga to get, you know, caught up to where they're at currently. That is a lot of work and exposition and little texts on my little phone. It's not enough for me. So yeah, I gate kept myself on that one, but that was a good one. I shouldn't have went behind that gate. I should have kept it closed, in my opinion. You might like it. Okay, and I mentioned earlier that there was like a few video games, but I think it's only just one that I can think of currently, and that was God of War. The new God of War is the last two, Ragnarok and God of War 2018, I think it was. Because before that, I really hadn't played any God of War games, and the ones I did see, like my friends played or whatever, I was like, oh, this is dumb action, over-sexualization, mainly the scene where you're fucking the one girl and then you have to like make the objects drop. That was crazy. But yeah, I was like, you know, he's cool. I respect Kratos as a character. And then when the new ones came out and everyone's like, no, this is a good game and the story's crazy, and I was like, yeah, whatever. So I believe I bought the game when it came out, and I was like, let me play it. I played like the first hour or so, and I was like, I'll come back to this. I traded it in. I bought a new game. I don't know what game I got. I think I got like Kingdom Hearts 3 at the time. Looking back on that now, crazy. And I was like, you know, I'm good on this. I'll come and play it eventually. It's not for me. You know, people who like it, good for you. I'm good on that. But then I finally went back and I beat the second one. That's right. I played Ragnarok before I beat the first one. Ragnarok came out. I bought into the hype and I was like, you know what? Everyone's playing it. Let's just creak open this gate a little bit and sneak back in. And I did. I played the second one. Fantastic. I love the game, the atmosphere, the story, all of it. It's amazing. And then I was like, let me go back and play the first one now that I beat the second one. And doing that like Tarantino style, I think helped me enjoy it a little bit more because I could see like where the story was going, and I didn't have to worry too much about like what was gonna happen. And yeah, I'm glad that I did, because God of War, the most recent ones, are good games. They're great games. Go play them if you haven't. They're classics on PlayStation for a reason. Just for me, for some reason, I was like, let me gatekeep myself on this. But I shouldn't have. I should have opened them up. I should have said, hey, Heimdall, open the gates, let me in. And he did, and he accepted me. Okay, going back to anime now. Another one that was gate kept from me, by me. I guess that's the way that I'm gonna say that one. Tokyo Ghoul, the first season. I know, the second season's trash. First season, I remember when it was coming out, people were dressing up as fucking Kaneki? I don't say it correctly, and I didn't realize this because I posted a video talking about him one time and everyone's like, how are you pronouncing it? That's not right. And I was like, oh, that's just how I said it. I say Kaneki, but I guess it's Kaneki or whatever. Anyway, that doesn't matter. The point is, I saw a lot of his cosplays at the con, and I'm like, why is everybody wearing this mask? Why do they have white wigs on? What is happening? And then I started learning that it's from Tokyo Ghoul, and I was like, that's whack. I don't care about this. I don't want to believe the hype. Again, hipster me. Didn't want to believe in the hype, ignored it, let it pass, and by the next con cycle, nobody was wearing the mask anymore. So I was like, oh, that was short-lived. It's like Sword Art. Nobody really cares about it anymore. But for some reason, a few years after that, I was scrolling through Hulu, I think, and I was like, oh, Tokyo Ghoul. All right, let's see what it's all about now. And it was good. I'm here to report, you guys. Tokyo Ghoul, if you haven't seen it yet, which I'm sure you have, was very good. The first season. Second season, not good. We don't talk about that. The first season, though, it just felt very, like, I don't know, at the time for me, because I think I watched it during wintertime, and it just feels very like a wintertime anime for me, because it's very like in the night, in the shadows, the ghouls come out, and like a lot of the scenes seem like they take place like in a cold environment, like you can see your breath when you're outside walking Tokyo. That's what it felt like, and so that set the mood for me. And I was just watching them late at night, like fucking midnight, 1 a.m., and it just hit different at that time. It just felt right. And yeah, it was a perfect storm for me of opening that little gate that I was keeping away from myself and letting myself in, and being like amazed by like the fight scenes and the story that it was telling, and then the way it flips the script on you with the main guy. I'm not gonna say his name again. I don't want you guys to get mad at me. But yeah, it was just one of those ones where I was like, oh, I can see why people really like this, and it was worth the hype. It just sucks that it was so short, but also sucks the fact that our continuation of it was trash. Like he deserves better. They should redo that, which I think there's rumblings of it, maybe redoing it. I think they should. I think that it would benefit really, really greatly from that, or like some sort of movie to finish it up a little bit differently. But yeah, Tokyo Ghoul, gatekept myself. Glad that I opened that gate and enjoyed it for what it was. Okay, and the last one that I was kind of late to the party on, another one that I gatekept myself from, was Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. So growing up, I remember the original being on TV, and I was like, oh, this is interesting. And my friend at the time, he was watching it, and Alphonse, I didn't know the story, so hearing Alphonse's voice, like being a kid and being like a child, and I didn't know why the reason was for it, but hearing it, I was like, why does that giant ass robot have a baby voice? That's weird. I don't like it. And for some reason, that just was enough for me to be like, you know what, you don't need to watch this. Nate, younger you, leave this alone. This is whack. This is a bad dub. When they talk about bad dubs in anime, this is one. Little did I know, it's one of the greatest dubs ever. So I guess technically I still am gatekeeping the original from myself, because I didn't watch original Full Metal Alchemist. I've only seen like the first 3 episodes, the ones that I watched when I was younger. But going back and watching Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, that's the one that changed me. And even then, I was late to the party. It was airing, 2007 through 2009 or 10? And I didn't watch it till years later. I didn't watch it till 2015, 2016, I want to say. And it changed my mind. It altered my brain chemistry, as they say. And I was like, man, this is what a masterpiece of a show feels like. Like, it's one of those ones where you just can't disagree with. If you've seen it, you know how great it is. But for anybody who's never seen it before, and you ask anybody who watches anime, like, hey, what are your top 5s? Brotherhood is always somewhere in that top 5, and for good reason, because it's so damn good. And I can see people like me being turned off by it at first and being like, this is, what are you talking about? Especially in the beginning, if you're not a seasoned anime watcher and watching something like Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, you could get turned off by the themes of it and the way they explain things, like their power system. Even me, still, some of it, I'm like, what? But it is a little complicated for some people, and yeah, I can see that being an off-putting. But if you lock in and you watch it, you'll realize how great it is. And I'm glad that I went back, even though that was a while for me to go back on that one. That gate remained closed and the furthest depths of my mind until I was reminded back when they were doing the remake, and I was like, oh shit, this is that show from back then I hated, and now I love it. So yeah, glad that I ungatekept that for myself. Look, forever on me, baby. Don't forget, October 11, Mean Girls Day. So yeah, those are what my mind had gatekept from myself. And I'm glad that my mind opened up these gates and let it all flood on me. All these amazing properties, shows, and game. I loved it. So hopefully you guys enjoyed my list of things that I've kept from myself. Let me know down below what are some of yours that you've gatekept from yourself, or some that you were late to the party on, because that was the alternative idea for this, is that shows that I was late to the party on. So any of those down below, let me know, because maybe I haven't even been invited to those parties or to those gates and I want to watch them. So whatever they are, let me know down below. And yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Hopefully you guys are still enjoying this channel. Like I mentioned earlier, we're at 500 subscribers now. That's crazy. So if you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. I really appreciate it. Don't gatekeep yourself from this channel, okay? Let the love in. If you've learned anything from this video, that's what it should be. And yeah, until next time, guys, go watch something that you might not want to watch. Why did I say it like that?